Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Almost Martha. And today we are going to be making something kind of fun, something I haven't had in a little while. We're going to be making arancini. Arancini. Oh, they're these delicious little rice balls filled with mozzarella, some pancetta. And usually you see them on menus as an appetizer, but I have seen it where they're much larger and there's bolognese sauce inside. That's completely different. I've seen people make it with leftover risotto, or they make risotto to make it. I've seen videos where these Italian chefs are like, that is not arancini. It's not a risotto ball. It's a rice ball. But I think both are delicious. I do. But we're going to be making a more traditional Sicilian version of arancini today. It's simple. There's not that many ingredients. It's really very good. And it's fried. And you know, I'm from the South. I like fried. It's good. It's good. So today we're going to be making arancini. So stay tuned. It's going to be fun. It's going to be good. I promise. Okay, let's go. We're going to start by chopping, maybe half this onion, about 3/4 of a cup, something like that of onion. You don't want too much. This is not a gigantic recipe that I'm making today, so we don't need that much onion. And we also want the onion to be diced, really, not just chopped, because you don't want the onion to be too large. So I'm just gonna start. Onion's very important. You know, I watched several techniques of how to make arancini, and one of the chefs said, "There's no garlic in arancini. We don't put garlic in everything." And I thought of you, Mom, because my mom, not a big garlic fan. We never had garlic in the house. My mother believed in salt and pepper. Isn't that right, Mom? Salt and pepper. Good Southern cook. Of course, things have changed. Things have changed since then. But garlic was sort of a revelation to me when I discovered it. But I still, maybe it's my upbringing, I don't know, I still use it sparingly. So when they said, we don't put garlic in everything, I'm like, I totally get that. I totally get that. I think there are people that would love to have garlic in everything. I just don't happen to be one of them. So I know it's good for you. I know all of that. But I'm my mother's daughter. Which means many things. Many things. We share a love of dishes. Oh boy, do I love dishes. I've got all kinds of dishes. All kinds of dishes. Every time I go out, Mark is like, are you going to buy another bowl? I have many bowls. Like, oh, what a cute bowl. I have to have that bowl. But yes, we share the love of dishes. We share the love of good food. There's many things that my mom and I share. So I learned a lot from her. She was an amazing cook. Amazing cook. And I know I've said many times, she made life-changing biscuits. She really did. Those biscuits were unbelievable. Nobody could touch her biscuits. Ooh, they were good. I can't touch them. And I make a pretty good biscuit, but hers, oh, there was just something truly, truly special about those biscuits. Okay, so I'm just continuing to chop these down. I'm losing pieces here and there, as I normally do. This is a little more than I need. So, you know what's a really good tip, and this is something my mom taught me as well, was when you chop onion, you know, a lot of times you have to chop a lot of onion for different dishes and all that stuff. Use what you need and then take the rest, put it in a little plastic baggie and throw it in the freezer. Then the next time you need onion, if you just don't happen to have one in the house, you've got it all prepped and ready to go. It's a wonderful idea. Wonderful idea. She used to even buy chopped onion for a while, but this I think is handy because once you've gone through the pain of chopping it and you don't need all of it, you can't waste it. So just throw it in a baggie. That's what I'm going to do. Keep it in reserve. And there have been many times where I needed just a little bit of onion and that just came in, you know, perfectly handy. So I will put some of that in a baggie and the rest of it, we're going to go right to the stove. All right, I'm heating my pan and I'm going to put in, about 2 tablespoons of butter. You can use olive oil if you'd like, but butter really gives it a nice flavor. And then we're going to add our onions. Now we've diced these up quite nicely. They're small. It won't take long for them to get brown, but we'll just watch them carefully. And I'm going to add a pinch of just some sort of generic Italian seasoning. Maybe one little pinch more. So it's like 2 pinches. 2 pinches. Now I have some pancetta. This is uncured pancetta. This is 4 ounces, so that's half a cup. And I'm going to add the pancetta to my pan. I don't necessarily want the onions and the pancetta to mix that much because I want to put some of the pancetta inside the center. So I'm going to sort of segregate my pan here. And I'm going to put, about 2 ounces of pancetta off to itself. I'll mix in maybe an ounce with the onion. I'll just do the rest on the side. Because I think it's really nice when you have the pancetta and the mozzarella together on the inside of the arancini. And then we're just going to cook this down. All right, I think my pancetta is cooked enough. So I am going to pull up the pancetta. Spread my onion and pancetta mixture over. And now I'm going to add my rice. So that's 1 cup of arborio rice. And we want the butter to really sort of coat that rice a little bit. There we go. That's 1 cup. Making sure the rice is nice and coated with that butter. All right, so I think my rice is beautifully coated. So now we're going to add 2 cups of vegetable stock. You can use chicken stock if you want to, but I think the vegetable stock is perfect for this. In it goes. Two cups. And now we're going to cook this rice. Just going to boil this rice. For about 15 minutes. All we're trying to do is to have the liquid absorbed by the rice. We'd like to keep the rice a little al dente. So that's our goal here. I'm going to cover this for a few minutes and let it come up to temperature, and then we'll give it a good stir. And while that rice is cooking, let's take some fresh parsley and let's chop about a quarter cup of finely, chopped parsley. And once that's finished, we'll just put it to the side. Now you can see that all of the liquid has been absorbed. It's great. The rice does not feel mushy as I'm stirring it, so that's wonderful. I'm going to add 1 cup of Parmesan right into the rice. Let's stir that right in. I'm going to turn the heat off. You don't need to cook this anymore. We have big clumps of Parmesan. Let's smash it and chop it out. Now, just want to give it a little bit of a taste. Want to make sure my rice is perfect. Oh yeah, that's good. And the cheese that I just added adds enough salt. Oh yeah, that's really good. So we added no cream. We added no wine. This is not for soda. But we really do have a creamy mixture here. Thanks to the Parmesan, butter. Oh yeah, it's good. Now we are going to sort of prepare our pan because we really can't make these risotto balls with this hot rice mixture. All of this has to cool down. So I'm going to take my rice mixture and I'm going to pour it right on top of this parchment paper. Get it all out. And I'm just going to smooth it out. This is just going to cool. You really can't make these balls until all of this cools down. So I'm going to let this just cool on the counter a little bit, for about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to put it in the refrigerator to let it finish chilling all the way down. Because as we make these balls, this really has to be nice and cold. Okay, perfect. We are now preparing to work with our little rice balls. So I left it on the counter for maybe 20 minutes just to really get the heat off the rice. And then I put a little piece of plastic wrap over it and I put it in the refrigerator where it's now pretty darn cold. And I have some nice fresh mozzarella. I am chopping some cubes up because I think it'll react a bit better when it's fried if we just have some pieces of mozzarella, not like a gigantic hunk that then has to melt. Might take it a little longer to melt. So this may be all I need. So I have my mozzarella, I have some pancetta, and I have the parsley. So I'm going to go grab my pan of rice and I'll be right back. So it's very cold, very, very cold, which is good, I have a little water here. I'm just going to put a little bit of water on my hands because I think it'll help the rice from sticking to my hands too much. We have to get enough. Form a nice little ball. Now I want to flatten this ball a bit out. Yes, sort of like that. I have this nice little round thing here. I'm going to take a little bit of the mozzarella I'm going to take a little bit of the pancetta and then I'm going to fold this up. And I want all of that to be on the inside of the rice ball. Okay. A bit of water is very helpful here. Put this glue together. And we have a rice ball. Okay. And I totally forgot my parsley. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of this parsley on here. It's a nice little color. Little pancetta. Okay. And then we put it all together. Keep that moisture there. A little bit of water is very helpful. Squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. You know, cooking can be very, very relaxing. You just kind of zone other things out. But it's very different cooking than, you know, I got to get a meal on the table. I got to hurry. Dinner's coming up. So I totally get that. I know I've felt that same thing. You know, there's a big difference between when cooking is relaxing and when cooking is a chore. So I think it's important to just take a little time when you can enjoy it, make something unusual, make something that your family will say, wow, that's really great. That's totally different from our normal frozen dinners. Right? That's good. And it's relaxing and you will have accomplished something at the end of the day. And I think that is so important for all of us. You know, so often we feel powerless in a lot of our lives. You know, you can't control what your boss does. You can't control, you know, what your customers do or what your colleagues do or, you know, what your students do, all of that stuff. And you just need to have a few moments of zen where you can express yourself in different ways. And actually doing it, actually cooking, not just watching cooking shows, can feel really, really satisfying. So I hope you try it. There's a lot of these things, you know, that I think are very easy. And I have friends that watch the show and they're like, oh, I could never do that. And I'm like, yes, you can. You just have to do it. You just have to do it. It's like so many things in life. You just gotta get up and do it. That's it. The only thing stopping you is you. So it's important to remember. Nobody's perfect at everything from the outset. I'm not perfect at all. Why do you think my name is Almost Martha? So you just got to do it regardless. And don't be afraid of failure. If you do fail, so what? You will have learned something from the experience and you go on from there. Such an important thing that we all should learn. Failure is a teaching moment. It's not to be feared. Not to be feared. Okay, I have all of my little rice balls done. I have two that might be a little bit bigger than some of the others. So if I was on the British Bake Off, I get points off. That's fine. But I think they look pretty good. They look pretty good. And now we're going to put these back in the refrigerator, and we want them just to kind of dry back out. We put a lot of water and stuff to, seal everything. So I'm just going to let these dry out in the refrigerator. Just leave them in there for a couple of hours, and then we will be ready. Okay. I have 2 eggs that I have beaten, and I have it in a little bowl. I have a small saucepan that I've filled with oil, and this is where we'll be frying. I may have put a little too much oil in there, we'll see. I have panko breadcrumbs, but you can use Italian breadcrumbs if you prefer. And now I'm just trying to get my oil hot. I did sprinkle some breadcrumbs in there, and they are frying. So I took my little balls right out of the refrigerator. I'm going to take one and I'm going to dip it in the egg wash, and then I'm going to roll it in the breadcrumbs. Make sure, try not to get the egg hand into the breadcrumbs. Okay, get a nice roll there. Okay, and now I'm gonna drop it into the oil. There you go. Lost a few breadcrumbs there. Just gonna get them out. I'm gonna continue this process. This isn't that big, so I'll probably just do a couple balls at a time. If you want to use a bigger pan, you certainly can. You can also use a deep fat fryer if you have one. And then just try to get as many breadcrumbs on these as possible. And I think a couple of these cook too fast, and that means that the center will not be nice and hot and runny. So if you put it in the oven to finish it off, then that will happen. But I mean, everything in this is cooked. The rice is cooked. The pancetta is cooked. So it's not gonna hurt anything if it's not completely molten on the inside. But that's what you're looking for. While this is going, I'm gonna cut one open for you so you can see exactly what it looks like. Oh, look at that. Oh, how lovely is that? That's just perfect, everybody. That's just perfect. I'm still frying over there, but oh my goodness, I just couldn't resist. I couldn't resist since I sliced this one open. Oh man. That is really good. That is really good, y'all. So, when we're done, we're going to pile them up, sprinkle some Parmesan on it, serve it with a little red sauce on the side just for dipping that ball in. Oh my God. Sorry. That was really good. Wow. So you got to try it. Yeah, it's a lot of steps, but a lot of it's just resting. You're just waiting in between. So try it. Go to almost-martha.com and you'll find the recipe for arancini along with all the other recipes that I've done. And I hope you try it. Thanks for stopping by. Hi, Mom. And we'll see you next time right here on Almost Martha. Man, that is really good. Thank you.